One annoying problem we have with our overlanding system is when we have the rooftop tent on the truck, we have zero light from the back of the bed. The light on the back of the cab is blocked completely by the tent, and we can only see by flashlight. So today, I will be installing some aftermarket truck bed lights to help us see when we are out and about exploring. For these auxiliary lights, I'm going to be installing rock lights from the same brand, 4-wheel drive King, as I did the Subaru's rock lights. They still work, they're still awesome, and I'm a big fan of the product itself. So I'm going to be installing these as my rear auxiliary lights. I feel like the shape of these rock lights is perfect for what I want to be using them for. They kind of fit the bed shape as well. And these, of course, are going to be a bright white. You can get rock lights from 4-wheel drive King in 4 different colors. This video is not sponsored. I have used them in the past, and I like their product. Of course, your little install kit to go along with it. The rock lights come with this sweet little rubber backing that lets you slip the wire in the channel if you want to place this wire anywhere else. Otherwise, you can just go directly and plug it in kind of like that. So you can see right there and all the way over here are the factory position for the rear lights that come on the Santa Cruz. Higher model Santa Cruzes will come with factory rear lights that you can turn on with that upper middle light, but they only turn on when you open the rear storage access. They're very limited on what you can do, and they don't turn on all the time. So I figured wiring in some real auxiliary lights not only solves the problem of having factory lights, but I can turn those on whenever I want. Since we're installing aftermarket lights, I also got this 2-lead wiring harness from Nylite. You guys have probably seen Nylite, they're all over the place. This is just a simple wiring harness. 2 leads for both sides, relay, fuse, all the goodies. Obviously, I am not going to be using the switch that comes with it because I got my own switch in the dash, and I can show you guys that later. It's going to be sitting in like that, and the wire harness is going to route behind that all the way inside the truck, which of course means taking the side panels off both sides. And since I have the bed extender, I have to pull the bed extender brackets off, and these top rail caps, the bedside caps, have to come off, and of course my little rooftop tent brackets have to come off as well. 3 Phillip head screws will pull these brackets off in each side. We're just gonna go ahead and remove this bed mat just to get it out of the way. And then for me only, gotta remove these plates that hold the crossbars for our rooftop tent, or bed top tent. How am I looking down there? Huh. I don't see any rust. Holding on pretty good. Good job. And now, we have to get those top caps off. Pretty sure I've got to buy new clips for this whole piece already. I'm trying to pop 2 of them out, and I've already heard 2 of them break. So, the damage is already done. Well, you know, now that I look at it, I'm pretty sure you can just undo all these bolts and get away from pulling that up in the first place. Let's try that. So we've got 30. We've got 8 of these T30 Torx bits to take out. So you got the anchor and these tie down brackets. So those got to come out, and there's 3 of those at T40. And this little bugger right down here. Okay, so you don't need to take these bed caps off. Don't worry, I will break my truck so you guys don't have to. Oh my god, this panel's heavy. Has anyone ever seen a Santa Cruz naked before? Way up in that cavity. It's now a good time to rust proof. I don't see any rust on there yet. Oh, it just goes right down there. Based on that wiring harness, I think I'm gonna pull this panel off too. So it's that same T30 Torx bit. I think once I get this panel off, I'll just follow the same routing of the wire harness for these rear auxiliary lights. So that's actually kind of cool to look at. We call it Santa Cruz's Go Wild. Sorry. So here is the next crappy part. These rear seats got to come out. There's no way really around it unless you want to take your wiring harness outside the truck. So I'm going to go ahead and rip out these rear seats. I'm not going to film it because I've already done that in the past, and it's cold outside. Filming is going to slow me down. But if you want to see how to remove your rear seats, I will link that video at the end of this video for you guys to check out. And here is our rear seat removed. So right there's the harness, and right there's that plug to the outside. So I believe I'm going to put a hole in that plug and follow this harness down the pillar. And that's going to require pulling that panel loose, that floor panel, the B pillar, all the way up under the dash. Right there is my switch panel and the wires that go through the firewall. So I've still got a lot of work ahead of me. So I believe I'm going to have enough wire with just what the rock light offers to go from the wall all the way to our home location, and then start the actual 2-lead harness building from the back of the car and splitting and going underneath all the panels. After all that's taken care of, we're going to go ahead and get started on the wiring harness. Since I already have this switch block, I'm going to be running the new harness to one of these auxiliary switches. This guy right here is just a basic plain panel with nothing behind it. So if you just wanted to use the light switch that came with a kit, you could drill a hole and put it right there. Or if you wanted to get my switch block, the same one I have, that'll also be linked at the end of this video. The whole video with installing that switch block itself will also be linked at the end of this video if you want to check that out. So anyways, if you happen to get a switch panel like me, it's already wired up for power and ground. So on your new switch, all you need is the activation wire, this guy right here, to plug into slot 3. Right down there on this middle switch, that's going to be my rear light switch. If you are going with the stock switch, just pop a hole in this panel, and obviously all your leads will stay connected to this switch and you won't have to worry about it. Underneath the dash, oh my gosh, is that grommet right there. That is the access plug that I used to come up all the way. There's the harness for my roof lights coming through that slot right there. So, and of course, that grommet plug is underneath behind the battery, so the battery's got to come out. Okay, with that battery out of the way, right back there you can see is, there we go, the relay that I used for my roof lights, and to the right of it is, oh my goodness, the grommet that I used to go through. So there is your access to go through the firewall and up behind the dash. So we'll go ahead and grab our harness and fish it through there. Go ahead and grab the harness and finish pulling it through. So I gotta show you guys something real quick. This is the wiring plug for that switch, and I've got way too many wires going through that little grommet back there. So I had to cut the plastic out, come on the inside, and unfortunately take the pins apart for that little harness. So I'm gonna have to add butt connectors to get those back together. Otherwise, the full harness is inside. So we got our relays, both for the roof lights and for the rear lights now, on this little stud back here. Let me just press that sensor back in. So we got to pull up the rest of these panels, only to discover that the wiring harness is too short. Pull this weather stripping out of the way. Just these little spring clips on them. Luckily, I've got this spare harness that I use for other roof lights in the past. So I'll definitely use some of this harness to extend the distance of that one so it'll fit in the back of these plugs. This popped out a little bit. So we're gonna come and bring a harness down behind this panel. And now we are on track for greatness, on the right direction, right path for my inner monologue. And it almost makes it. We still have to go underneath this panel and following that harness behind it. Otherwise, it almost reaches. But under here, you can see we are well below all the airbag wires, still kind of following this track in here. And we got that panel off. So just temporarily, kind of got them set up. So pardon all of this ridiculousness. All I have to do is reattach the leads to the battery and we can see if these work. Pretty sketchy. Hold on to your butts. Check it out, guys. Woo! Oh, that's bright. We know that everything is going to work perfectly. Now, we need to go through, get all of our wires cleaned up, get our rock lights mounted to the side panels, clean up all of our wires, put everything back together, and that's it. And we're done.
Yeah, that's actually a lot of work left.
I'm just gonna be using normal butt connectors because these are never gonna see any water. Perfectly safe on the inside, so that's why I'm using these. Otherwise I would be heat shrinking these bad boys. So we have our panel here and our rock light and our assembly pieces. So it's upside down, of course, but I believe we'll drill 3 holes, for 2 for the bolts and then for the wire harness to go behind. Then I'll have the wire harness come tracing this little bump ledge right here until we can go inside the grommet and get the wiring inside the car. So we got our light and a rubber isolator. We're gonna have to feed the wires through, just like so. So get this tucked up through there. You got these little black caps. Little black caps go on the inside of the rubber isolator to keep it from pulling out. And our bolts will go through next. Drill through the light and nut on the back. Pretty simple. And then we got to go up a drill bit size. And we've got both panels done. So now we just got to get them put on the truck. Okay, I lied. Wire harness has to go below that pocket, below that piece, for it to fit right. I'll go ahead and fish that through there. Okay. Okay, pretty much have the bed back together. I just got to put the bed mat back in, the pockets back in, and of course the bed extender needs to go back in, all off camera. So that doesn't matter. But anyways, inside we have our rock lights, bed lights, poking through right here. So I just got to route this wire up here and there is the other set of rock lights, and the wire harness is right there. So, finished getting them wired up, put the seats back in, put the interior back in. So for the routing, I just use the plastic buttons, this press on, spin on buttons that hold the insulation on. I realized that probably pulling the insulation is a better way of routing the wires, but it's a 2-day job. I'm already at it 2 days. So for now, probably forever, I'm just gonna use those buttons. And again, I wouldn't normally use these butt connectors, but I don't think it's possible for water to get in those at all, and it's fused and it has a relay. So as far as this job is concerned, I still got to put the interior together. I'm gonna fast forward and skip that and go right to the finished product.